All right, my camera cut off there. They only sell LCD and LED monitors now, flat screen. So trying to find a CRT monitor is next to impossible unless you go on Craigslist, probably on Craigslist, and you can probably find it. I don't think even pawn shops have them because when you turn something in at the pawn shop has to realize what the turnover is on that product in order for them to make money. So they buy the product from you, or you lend it to them, but you don't pick it up, and they have to sell it. If they can't sell a CRT monitor, they're not going to take it. And so most likely, even a pawn shop doesn't have CRT monitors either. You have to go to like an Asian store or know somebody who has a CRT and you buy it from them because they bought a flat screen monitor to replace their CRT. The point I'm trying to make is when you go to the store, you see nothing but flat screen monitors. You don't see CRT anymore. I do believe in the next 2 years, it's going to be probably next year or the year after, where the only monitors that you can buy are touchscreen monitors. And because the Kinect is going to be usable on a Windows computer, I think it's also going to be gesture control. So not only can you control what's going on your screen by touching the monitor, you can also gesture your windows around and voice it too. So you can say, computer, sound like Star Trek now, computer, open PowerPoint presentation, sales outcome 2012. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to invite you to the presentation, full screen, computer full screen. Next slide. All right, these are our the sales outcome that we did in 2012. So far, we're doing so good. Next slide. And this is the pie chart. Next slide. And this is our projections for next year. Next slide. You don't believe me? I do believe that touchscreen is going to be standard because of Windows 8. And I do believe that future app developers will have to design their apps in the modern UI because I do believe that Microsoft's going to get rid of the desktop environment in Windows 10, at least by Windows 10. If not Windows 9. It's going to go away. And people say, well, Windows 8 is only for tablets. It's for desktops too. You just have to get used to it, just like you got used to the mouse. And touchscreen monitors are going to be standard in the next couple of years. It's going to be standard. And I guarantee you, Apple is going to come up with their own touch interface very soon. Because you know the iMac is great. It's just a screen, and that's it. No cables. You don't have a box. You don't have a flat screen. You just got the flat screen because the computer is in the flat screen. Why isn't that touch? But I guarantee you that by next year, Apple is going to come up with a touch interface. And every one of their computers is going to be touch. I guarantee you that if not this coming iPhone, that the next iPhone coming out is going to be a mini Mac. If you want to call me wrong, call me wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Okay? But I think the next iPhone is going to be the mini Mac. It's going to be, instead of iOS, it's going to be OS X 12.0 in the iPhone, in iPads. It's going to be OS X, not the iOS anymore. And the only difference is, the reason why they may still keep that name iOS is that because it's still going to be OS X, just in an iOS format, because you don't have as much real estate on the phone. So you have to kind of reduce it. But the iPad is capable of being a computer because the size of the screen is big enough to hold major applications. still small, less real estate than a 15-inch monitor or 14-inch monitor, but big enough to where a full application can run on an iPad. It's just the iPad is not fast enough. So the iPad may come out in two different versions. They're going to come up with an RT version. They're not going to call it RT, but they're going to make an iPad OS that's like the current OS, iOS, and then they're also going to make an iPad that's going to be a full-fledged Mac running on Intel-based processors. Guaranteeing it. That's coming very soon, next year. If not this year, next year. So your future iPad, people who love iPads, you're going to be carrying around a Mac next year. Instead of that long-ass line to get your iPad. In fact, they probably have to rename it to iMac. Well, they already got the iMac. But you know what I'm saying. The next iPad is going to be a Mac. And it's going to be a newer interface version of the Mac. It's not going to be like Metro. I guarantee it's not going to be nothing like Microsoft. But it's going to be touch. It's going to have similarities. And you're going to see a lot of that in the next iPad and Macintosh, in the next OS X. It's going to be touch compatible. This wasn't supposed to be an iLog. My iLogs are supposed to be where I talk about more details about different things, and it's straight camera originals. But this may end up being part of a vlog, so I don't know. We'll see. So the future of Macs and iPads, or future of Apple, say it like that, it's going to be portable Macs, and the iPhone is going to be the ARM version of a portable Mac, and it's going to be synchronized. It's going to be integrated all into one system. So you have an iMac, iPhone, iPad that is the exact same system. So when an application developer develops an app, let's say you buy Adobe Photoshop for your OS X device, okay, your computer. You'll be able to install that exact same file. That exact same file can be installed on your iPhone, can be installed on an iPad. The only difference is that the program will recognize that it's just an iPhone and will reduce some of the limitation. It'll be limited. It'll be like a smaller real estate type of Photoshop application. That same application can run on an iPad, which will give it more real estate, but limited still because the ARM versions are not as quick as Intel. So that's coming up, folks. I'm guaranteeing it. It's all coming. And I think Apple's going to have to do it. They're going to have to. I think Windows 8 is going to give them a run for the money. I don't think it's going to outsell Apple product or iPhones or iPads, but I do believe it's going to put a nice little dent in their parade. And definitely Google. I definitely believe that Google will feel the effects of it. Definitely. When it comes to Apple, I think it's going to produce a small dent, enough for them to notice. It's like, oh yeah, we got to go back to the body shop and fix that dent. All right, I got to concentrate here. Got a nice little turn here coming up. Oh yeah, I'm staying off the freeway. But I gotta remember this freeway. Think about that. I just got an itch. I'm going to the Microsoft store and the Apple store right now. I tried to do that on one of my vlogs that I did either in June or early July. It was one of those. But I got to go back and I'm going to tell him I'm vlogging. I'm just talking about the difference between Microsoft and Apple. And it's totally biased. Because I am. I am somewhat biased about Apple and Microsoft products. I am. Somewhat biased. Yes, I do prefer Microsoft over Apple products. But I don't down Apple at all. I never down Apple. Apple's got some great products. I don't ever say anything bad about Apple. In fact, if I have all the money in the world, and I said this before, I'll have an iPad, I'll have an Android device, an Android tablet, and I'll have a Microsoft Surface. If money was no object. And I'll get the best of all three of them. Top of the line with the most memory. But I realized that budget it's going to be, I have a budget. And so that's why I'm going to get the 32 gigabyte Microsoft Surface Windows RT tablet and be happy with it. And just be glad I got one. You know? Be grateful. Because I want that damn thing. I want it so bad. So they're not going to have a Windows 8. They're not going to have a Microsoft Surface in the store, of course, because it's not even in the stores yet. It's still got 2 months to go. In fact, today's the 27th, I think. Or today's the 28th, right? It's the 28th or the 27th? God damn, I don't even know what day it is. But we got 2 more months to go, exactly. And so, in 2 months, I'll be standing in line in front of this store here at the Domain in Austin, Texas. I'll be standing in that line with that camera, or with some camera if I buy a new camera by then. And I'm going to videotape me getting my Microsoft Surface for the first time. You know, I went by yesterday in my vlog, I went by a bike shop on the way to the train. And it was more like I bumped into it because I was walking, I was like, bike shop? Cool. But there's a Dick's Sporting Goods right here, close to where I live. Like, this is close to where I live. It's like, I would say, less than 5 miles from my house. I can actually ride a bike down here, you know, if I had one. But, I am thinking about, let me kind of, got to concentrate just a little bit. I'm in the parking lot now. I'm going to park here just for a moment. And I'm going to see if I can vlog. When I told them I was vlogging, they said it was okay, but they kind of had a strange look on their face. I'm going to try it again. And I'm just going to tell them that I was having a discussion with my audience, the audience that I have now, about Windows Phone and Apple, the iPhone that's going to come out soon. That's going to be announced sometime next month. In fact, that's going to be an exciting time. In fact, I want to try to cover that live, if I'm not working, of course. If when Nikita introduces the next Windows Phone, I want to be there for that. If not live, of course, I'm going to be there for the recording of it if someone grabs it and uploads it to YouTube. Then I'm also going to be there, I think it's going to be like a week after Nakia. It's going to be the iPhone introduction, the next iPhone iteration, which is either going to be an iPhone 4X, probably, or it's going to be an iPhone 5. But I have a strong belief it's going to be iPhone 5. So let me go ahead and see what I can do here. I'll be right back.